The new Steel Angel officer is here, and as we know, she is a very good defense officer. She is designed for garrison damage, skill output, and overall defending the base. But just how good is she offensively? Now, as we know, we have offensive officers like Futurus and I. We do have field officers like Frostfire now. We have, obviously, Stinger, who's a defense officer, but he is good in the field fighting other people. Even Argent Flame is great to get that little bit of an extra distance with an extra sort of skill shot that links to the 6th grid if you're lucky enough to have them there. So, with that being said, just how good is the new Steel Angel? Now, as we know, she's very good in defense, but I put it to the test on bases. How good is she offensively? Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the different reasons why I have not included certain people in this test, and just the overall result of whether or not she's worth having on your Howie. Now, as we know, guys, the most strongest possible combination to have on your Howie when attacking a base is Futurus and I. And I did do the Futurus and I test, and it came out to around 64 million. I haven't actually included that in the results because we know the result of that already. But to keep that as a general outline in the test and the units I was using, it came to around 65 million damage for the skill shots on a base. So now we're going to give you the results, and we're going to kind of discuss the results of all the other officers used. Now, in this test, I used the normal standard people of Flame. We had Frostfire, we have Lady Liberty, Antonina, and Steel. Now, the reason I haven't included Stinger on this list, because we've tested before in the past, and I did do the tests in this video as well regarding Stinger, but he honestly just isn't that strong when attacking a base. Obviously, when it comes to units, he's amazing, but when it comes to attacking a base, he really isn't that strong. The only reason Flame can kind of keep up with it is because he boosts the skill of whoever he is paired with, so therefore he just about matches the mark. But if he didn't have that ability, he would probably be just as weak as Stinger when it comes to attacking a base. Now, with that being said, guys, here are the results on the screen. Now, one thing we're going to test here is I paired everyone with Liberty, I paired everyone with Antonina, and then I paired them all with each other. Now, the reason for me not pairing, obviously, Liberty and Antonina is it's just a waste. You don't really need to have Liberty and Antonina. Sure, it would still do something, but it's just not worth having. So, with that being said, guys, we're going to take a look at a breakdown. Now, if you want to have, obviously, multiple Howies, we're still keeping in consideration that your first Howie is going to be Futurus and I. So this test is more of a, what is going to be best for your second howitzer, and if you have a third howitzer, what's going to be your best for the third howitzer in an offensive formation. This does not talk about defense at all, so any matchups that we are talking about in this video, please don't think of it on a defense scale when it comes to like killing units. We have not done that in this test. The results would be very different. This is purely for if you want to deal offensive damage to an enemy base, what is going to be your best setup. So with that being said, we're going to go through and have a look. Now, if you want the very best outcome, say you've only got 2 Howies, right? You do not have a third, you only have 2 Howies, and you want to deal as much damage to an enemy base with and alongside Futurus and I, you're actually going to want to use Frostfire and Steel Angel, because this is the highest output of damage towards another enemy base. But obviously, if you have a third Howie and you pair these two together, your remaining options are pretty limited. So the best options available in this current setup with the officers we have listed here is going to be having Frost and Liberty together, because you can see they do 31, and then if you also have Flame and Steel, because they do 30.9, which is basically 31, you can get 2 31 output damages rather than, for example, if you had Frost and Steel as your second Howie, that only leaves you Flame and Liberty realistically, or Flame and Antonina. And at that point, you're only doing about 26. You're actually going to be losing out a pretty decent amount. So, with that being said, your best option is going to go with the Frost and Liberty and then having Steel and Flame on another Howie. This is going to be your kind of best output possible. You're not getting a really good and then a really bad. You're getting two averages, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, there is another test I do want to do in the future, and I will be doing this. But with the addition of Madame Vindictive, there is going to be a possibility where we actually split up Iron Futurus. Now, with that being said, obviously, we would think about potentially maybe Iron Liberty, and then Futurus and Vindicta, and then you could also have, say, Antonina and someone else, or we could keep with another very high demanding officer. Now, I haven't tested it, so I don't know, but some people say that it's a good option because then you can still have the 5 good range as well as still doing more output of damage, but I'll have to do the testing. That one will take a long time to do because of just how much there is testing wise on what we need to do. So with that being said, I really appreciate you tuning in. I just wanted to kind of give you guys the information on how good she is on an offensive scale. And the reality is she is still better offensively than most of the officers we have when it comes to attacking a base. So again, you can see the results on the screen. Feel free to pair them where you wish. Obviously, I don't have Stinger on here, but I can promise you when it comes to attacking a base, he is the weakest out of them all. So therefore, I just didn't include him. So guys, for most of this information, I'm giving you based on the fact that I have Liberty. Now, obviously, a lot of people now, you know, the fact she's been out for like almost 3 years, a lot of people do have Liberty. So if you have her, make sure that you use the same sort of information. But if you do not have Lady Liberty and you only have the free-to-play officers, the best options are going to be either Frost and Steel and then Flame and Antonina. This together produces around 60.3 million. And then you have Flame and Steel, and you also then have Frost and Ant. Now this produces 60.5 mil, which means they're basically both exactly the same. But if you have that second option with having Frost and Antonina together, you will actually get a little bit more coefficient when attacking potential troops, because obviously the 5 grid range using Frost will obviously benefit that little bit more. But again, you could choose either one, but that would be my recommendation. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, guys. I know it's a short one, but a lot of people have been asking me, yes, they know she's good defensively, but how good is Steel offensively? Hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I appreciate you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.